vicious cycle of deficiencies. All of us are born with deficiencies and personality flaws. Well, rather not born with them, but we come to develop them as we get older and older, as we leave our perfect childhood state and start to inherit the insecurities given to us by society and from our parents and families and things of that nature. When dealing with this type of psychoanalytical practice, such as magic or anything dealing with the occult, because all this stuff is access to the subconscious mind and implementing your will upon the face of reality. Okay, and to do so, you have to really be in touch and in tune with who you are, your humanity, and you need to recognize your limits so you can surpass them. So this is why I come up upon the subject of deficiencies and insecurities. If you don't take the time and the necessary path working to fix yourself, then every ritual you do, everything that you do, your perspective will be tainted by your insecurities. Okay, now what do I mean by that? It's pretty simple, should be obvious. But I mean, if you're a jealous person, an envious person, then most of the things you do are going to be coming out of a jealousy tinted lens. Okay? Furthermore, you won't be able to really interpret signs and messages because your insecurities are always going to be getting the best of you. So it's imperative to take the necessary time in meditation to self-analyze, to really look at yourself objectively, right? Step outside of yourself and look at your thoughts. Examine the thoughts. Examine that tape cassette loop that's going through your head. Why am I thinking these things? Why am I operating this way? Why am I reactive? What really pushes my button to make me jump to the reactionary state, right? Why am I getting offended at this? Or why am I attracted to this, right? These are some things that you really want to take into account and work on, because these are things that control you. These are things that cause biological impulses in you. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if you're jealous, if something happens to trigger that jealousy in you, you're in a reactionary state and you're not going to control your reality and your destiny the way that you need to be. You're going to be controlled by your weakness. Okay? That's essentially what all this is. Weakness. People who want to dominate and control others, that's weakness. People who, you know, like I said, are jealous, are insecure, people who think low of themselves, think that they're not good enough to do this or that. You know, yes, I'm talking about you. Sit down and examine yourself. What are these flaws that you have in your brain that are really pointless? You know, who put them there? Who told you that you weren't good enough? Right? Who told you that it has to be this way or that way? Right? Who says that you're not able to do it? Really sit down and think about this, and you'll come to understand that none of these things apply to you. None of these things apply to you. At every moment, you have a clean slate. Every moment, you have a clean slate. You don't have to continue to be following along the path of judgment that others have placed on you. At any time, you can stop and get out of that role and transform into something new. Or rather, not transform into anything at all. Just be, just exist, right? Just understand that you are divine, and everything that you do is perfect. Everything that you do is already, it goes according to the will of those who love God and are called according to His purpose, so to speak. Everything is perfect. Okay, coming from that perspective, there's no mistakes, there's no coincidences, there's no flaws, right? There's no need for jealousy, there's no need for selfishness, there's no need to take advantage of anybody else. Because when you really get into this thing, you start to see that there is no separation, that you are connected to everything and everyone. That's why cause and effect is so important, like we talked about in the last video. It's not about good and evil, it's about cause and effect. And everything that you do causes a ripple, and that ripple will bounce back to you. So it's best to operate in, what is it? to operate in the best interest of yourself and for those around you that you love. You know, there's no need to go overboard, you know, wreak havoc and revenge, because again, that will come back to you. But be fair, be balanced, you know. If you are pushed back, of course, because if you don't defend yourself, really you're communicating that you don't love yourself, that you don't feel yourself important enough to be defended. So even that can have negative repercussions. It's common sense. You know, a lot of this is common sense if you just sit down and think about it. But really, another focus in these beginning stages for those of you who are just starting out is to sit down and look at yourself. Close your eyes, turn off the distractions, and really just think. Think about your life. Think about where you are right now and how you got there. What decisions that you made caused you to get to where you are. And how many of those decisions that were made come from a place of knowing and purpose, versus how many of those decisions were made based on you reacting to something, right? You reacting to what someone else did. And look at the quality of the results between those two. Look at the quality of the results of your own decision that came from your heart, and look at the quality of result that comes from some reactionary decision, right? Being pushed or being pulled. In Buddhism, it talks about cravings and aversions, right? When you're in a state of peace, there's not a craving pulling you, and there's not a aversion repelling you. So think about those things that you are repelled by, and consider why. Think about those things that you crave and are attracted to, and consider, why am I? Why? Really break it down. I'm not saying, you know, you have to give up all this stuff, but really just sit down and think, why do I react? And after you've really analyzed thoroughly yourself, see if you can start to get to a point where you don't react, to where you can become impervious to change. Because a man who can control himself, it's very powerful indeed. Know thyself. Know thyself. He who knows himself knows the universe. But don't let people take advantage of you. People can smell certain weaknesses, right? And you know, they may tell you what you want to hear for as long as it takes before they really make a move. So really test all these people. Test everybody. Everybody ain't your friend. That's what my dad used to tell us. Everybody ain't your friend. Really just kind of, you know, sit back and just play it along. You know, be civil. But don't let anyone push themselves into your life where it's uncomfortable, right? The Bible says you'll know them by their fruits, and that bears very true outside of Christianity, all over the world. You'll know them by their fruits. If you really want to know about somebody, get to know them. See what they've done. See what fruits that they've bared in their life. See if they actually walk the walk, as opposed to just talking the talk. But yeah, I was just thinking about that, and that's where I got into the subject of deficiencies and insecurities. Because a lot of times, people who have been abused turn out to become abusers themselves. And that's why it's critical to examine yourself and see, whoa, am I reacting to something that's been done to me? Or am I living a life of my own design and my own purpose? A lot of times, these people that you deal with, it's not that they're good or bad, right? A lot of times you aren't even really interacting with people. People are vessels of energies, okay? And everyone is in their own world. And just like you're reacting to what someone else has said to you, right? And your reactions are based off of your associations with whatever it is that they said or did, right? Say, for example, you're afraid of cats, and somebody brings a cat to you. You get all freaked out, right? It's not that you're freaked out by what the person did. You're freaked out in response to your own association with cats. So really take that, and you can extrapolate that onto other subjects. When we deal with people, the way that our emotions are stimulated is based on our own associations. So when somebody pisses you off, you're not mad at that person. You're mad at your own associate. You're not mad at that person. Your association with whatever's negative is kicking in and causing you to react. You see what I'm saying? Anything dealing with reaction is not really you. It's not really you. It's your emotions beginning to take over those human animal impulses, right? We're trying to separate the beast from the spirit, the animal from the spirit. Yeah, we're all encased in flesh, but some of us are light, encased in flesh, and some of us are here to escape this flesh. And it's a long process, but a step today is the first step of the journey, or however that saying goes. The journey of 1,000 steps begins with the first step. Okay, and that first step is really self-analyzation, taking into account why you behave the way that you do, who you are, why you are who you are. So yeah, most of the time we don't really, truly, genuinely deal with people. We're dealing with their, their shadow selves, their act that they portray, and we are reacting to our own associations with the things that they say and do. So everyone is in their own little world. When you're in love, say if you're in love with a woman, most of the times it's coming from within. It's this feeling that you have generated in yourself based on a reaction from that woman, from that person, right? That's how you can be an unconditional lover, because no matter what that person does, it's all based on your own reactions to what they're doing. And that's everything. That's everything. Every emotion stimulated is a reaction from your own association. So once again, let's examine ourselves and see, am I just reacting to this chemical imbalance in my mind, to this chemical soup that's swirling around? Am I just reacting to that? Because if you are not yourself. You are those chemicals swirling around in your brain that we call emotions. Now let's begin to detach from those. Let's begin to release the reins of control of these chemical reactions and begin to be ourselves. Who we are is like a solid rock that has never moved. A solid rock that has never even existed in this dimension. We are unreactionary, yet we ignite all movement. You can find this place when you're still and quiet. It's easy to forget.